Hi, readers. We are learning all about how to compare characters that go together right now. So, what we've been doing is using a lot of the strategies that we practiced and learned in Because of Winn-Dixie, but now we're going to apply those strategies through a lens of comparison, right? We're going to be getting to know our character of Diamond Daniel, but we're going to do that at the same time as comparing her to what we learned about Opal and other characters that you might be reading about in your book clubs or during your independent reading time. So you might be wondering, why are we doing this? Well, it helps us become better readers, and we're always trying to track how our strategies are working, and we're always trying to improve. One way we can do that is take a peek at our learning progression. So as I was looking at where kind of maybe we started our third grade year, we can just probably when you came to third grade, you could just take two books and say, these are similarities and these are differences. But now, as we're journeying through third grade, we need to dig deeper with that. We need to look at how the major events of the books are similar and different. Also, characters, setting, what about the lessons that they learned? And so, how can we go from here to just general similarities and differences to looking specifically at different story elements? Well, yesterday you took a look at the characters, their traits, what they act like, what do they like, what do they dislike. And today we're going to add to that how to look at their reactions to problems that they face. So I was thinking about, okay, how did we learn to identify the problems and challenges that characters face? And I thought of our mountains, right? We travel up mountains with our characters, and we practice this with Peter's chair. So I thought, okay, this is a familiar text. I feel like I know Peter well. Maybe I can show you how to compare characters' reactions to problems by looking at Opal and Peter. All right, so we know that Opal misses her mom and that she's a new kid in Naomi and she's experiencing some loneliness. We also know that Peter is experiencing loneliness, but that is because he has a new sister and he is missing being an only child. So let's talk about how they react to these problems. Opal is very bold in asking her dad to tell her about her mom with her 10th birthday, and she's asking for 10 things from Preacher. So that's how she reacts to missing her mom. And Peter reacts to missing being an only child by going around the house looking for something that can be just his. Now, let's talk about what Opal does by being the new kid in town. She befriends adults and our favorite character, Winn-Dixie. Peter also befriends his dog, but makes plans to run away from his loneliness and his new sister. So once we've been able to identify the problems and reactions, we can look for ways that these two characters may be similar or different, right? And this takes some pretty significant digging. You know, if I were still kind of in that level 2 stage and I was just naming general similarities and differences, I would probably say these two characters are lonely and they solve their problems by the end of the story, right? But we are trying to get more specific. So I might say some things that I've discovered are both characters experience loneliness because of pretty significant life changes and address the feelings with bold behaviors such as tense conversations between Opal and her dad, and Peter running away with his dog. Sometimes you can find just similarities in characters. Sometimes you can find just differences, and sometimes you can find both, right? One difference is that Opal addresses her problems head on with other people in her life, whereas Peter runs away without talking to his parents. So, your challenge today is, of course, to use these strategies to dig deeper, but to try that with Opal and Diamond. And I know that we're just really getting to know Diamond, but we've learned that authors present their character problems pretty early in the story. And so we've been able to find some problems that Diamond has just by reading chapters 1 and 2. So let me show you what I would do for this first problem from Opal and Diamond and how I might list their reactions and look for similarities and differences. And then I'll let you all try it with the second problems that I listed for both of these. So as we just reviewed, Opal misses her mom, and the way that she reacts to that is she learns about her from Preacher, right? And Diamond misses her best friend, and one way that she reacts to that is she tries to befriend Free, who comes across right now as a tough kid to be friends with, right? So I would say if I'm looking for a similarity or difference when taking a closer look at these characters, I might say that Opal and Diamond both appear to address their problems boldly, right? Opal, she even tells us in her story that she is nervous about talking to Preacher about this, but before she loses her nerve, she marches right up to him. And of course, from what we've seen of Free, I'm not totally sure that a shy character would ask Free to come and sit with her at lunch, given that he's kind of been grunting around and he doesn't seem super warm and friendly. So my observation, just based on this reaction and this reaction, is our characters tend to be pretty bold and don't shy away from addressing their problems. What you're going to do is list how Opal reacts to being the new kid in town, list to how Diamond reacts to being the new kid in her neighborhood, and then see if you can find a similarity or a difference, or maybe both in our characters, and type it down here below. Can't wait to see your answers.